I love this OG Tahoe. This is a two-door Z71. You can see how far we've come. Compare that to where we're at now. It's always fun to see where 30 years has taken us. What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 11 of the Showroom. Gavin McGrath here with McGrath Auto. Really excited about today. You know, a lot of people get super pumped for sports cars and new models that come out. Me personally, I like the classics, the ones that have been around for a long time that had that kind of grit and toughness. And today we're going to talk about the 2025 Chevy Tahoe, one near and dear to my heart. I drove a Tahoe for a year or so in high school, a big 99 pewter Tahoe with a cactus crusher on the front. This vehicle started in 1995. It kind of moved up from the Blazer and added the Tahoe. And they've been making it ever since. So this is now, a 30-year-old vehicle. So it's kind of entering in that classic car range. If we go back and we'll take a look at what's out there in the country for 95 Tahoes. In 2025, they redesigned the Tahoe, and we'll get into what that looks like. Trim level-wise, they started in the LS. That's a $60,495 starting price. And then they also offer the LT, RST, Z71, Premier, and the high country trim level. Couple standard options that are awesome on this vehicle: 17 plus inch diagonal color LCD display, which is really cool. And then you have the 11-inch diagonal digital instrument cluster. Also, I have a good friend who actually ordered a Tahoe with these. 24-inch wheels are available, which is the first time the Tahoe has had that. So this thing looks sweet. The 5.3 is the standard motor on it. They also offer the 6.2 level on the higher trim levels. And on the Z71, you can get the 3.0 diesel, which is becoming more and more popular because the gas mileage, or fuel mileage rather, is really good on that vehicle. I do want to touch a little bit more in depth on the Super Cruise availability because I've talked to a lot of folks that are really interested in the full self-driving vehicles. The Super Cruise technology the GM has come a long way, and it's available on the Tahoe, including on the LT, the RST, the Premier, and the High Country. Those four trim levels, it's available. It uses what's called this LiDAR mapping and the driver assistance center. And what LiDAR is basically it's light detection and ranging. So the way to simplify it, because I don't know this stuff that well, is like if you're going to bounce a ball on the floor, it's measuring that time that it took to bounce, how far that bounce went, and then from there, so how far is that floor away, basically. It's sending out the radar to test out to kind of find out how far away the lines are. So it keeps you center. And then the cool thing about this is that I've ridden in one before, and I did it actually last night when I took this Tahoe home. When you have the Super Cruise on and you're cruising on the highway, it was doing it on Highway 100. Let's say you want to be at 65 and the vehicle ahead of you is at 55. It'll slow you down. It'll move over a lane, go past them, and then move back over on its own to get you back up to speed. It's really trippy. But this full self-driving stuff continues to iterate, will continue to be better and better. Right now, there's about 400,000 miles of U.S. highways that GM has the Super Cruise technology that it works with because it uses your OnStar technology and needs to know the highways. By the end of 2025, they expect 750,000 miles of highways and interstate that you can ride on. Right now, it's not good for like suburban and in-town driving, but when you get out there on the highways, interstates, it works money, which is really cool. Top competitors in this space, you have the Ford Expedition, say would be the top one. Along with the Toyota Sequoia, they have a great vehicle. Nissan Armada, the GMC Yukon, which is just the sister of it, in the GMC side, and then the Jeep Wagoneer has made some noise and been a great vehicle. Right now, Car and Driver ranks the Tahoe the number one full-size SUV in the market. The way I rate it, after driving it and spending time in this vehicle, my rating on the vehicle, first of all, how does it feel? I think it feels a 9. I think this ride is outstanding. The interior feels great. The way the dash sets up with that big touchscreen in addition to the instrument panel, I love it. It feels outstanding. How does it look? 8.8. It looks, I think they did the small redesign. It looks really, really good. Love the way that they presented it. And how much is it? I give it an 8.2. Right? It is on the higher end of the price point of those competitors, higher than the Expedition, it is expensive, right? But they have done a good job keeping it in a relative the Wagoneer's got way out of hand as far as the pricing, especially the Grand Wagoneer. So the Tahoe 8.2. So overall, giving it an 8.7, right? From a stocking standpoint, the way we think about the Tahoe is that 3-month supply that we've talked about in the past with a lot of our vehicles. Okay, right now we have 9 at the Chevy campus in Cedar Rapids. We have 9 Tahoes in stock. 8 of those are on the ground with 1 in transit. We have sold, if I slide over to the right, an average on a 12-month of 3.5. Okay, so I've mentioned this before. We want to stock about 2 months on the ground with another month's supply coming, right? So a total 90-day supply available, 2 months of that sitting on the ground. So we're in pretty good position. The last 3 months, we've actually had an average of 6, and that was because if I pull up 2024's performance, I'll slide over here and highlight this for you guys. We did 42 Tahoes last year. 11 of those were in December. Why do we have such a good Tahoe month? Well, number one, we had the inventory. We had a lot of it. And number two, it's a great vehicle. A lot of our business done in December in the new car world is business owners, people that are self-employed, that are looking for maybe a year-end tax write-off. They realize they had a good year and let's go buy a vehicle. Their accountants tell them, hey, go buy something. So that's a great vehicle for doctors, accountants, lawyers, things like that. Very popular. And we had the inventory. So we had a good month and cleaned out some 2024 model years with some great discounts was a big part of that as well. Okay. The thing lease-wise, and I'm going to pull that up for you guys, on the lease standpoint, from the lease standpoint, I pulled up, and we'll take a look at this online. This 2025 Premier that we have, you can see the screen. It's great, 17 plus inches. I'll go back to what that looks like from the steering wheel. Just love the setup and how it kind of curves towards the driver. Really easy to navigate. Google built-in capability, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There's a good look at the touchscreen there. So all your controls can be handled on the touchscreen, including your heated seats, your air conditioning. So really smooth, easy to work with. Here's a good front angle picture of the Tahoe we have. And so the lease-wise, this is a $78,095 MSRP, discount at $1,785. The residual at 39 months, driving 10,000 miles a year is 50%. So that means your residual would be $39,048 at the end of the lease. The money factor, 7.68% with A-tier credit through GM Financial. So the payment with $3,500 down, which kind of like a stay consistent, just pay your tax on a license and your first payment down, that kind of knocks that out, is $1,351 per month on that Premier Tahoe. We have a pretty decent stock, as I mentioned, 8 of them. One of them is a leftover 24. The rest are 25s. I do have a 24-inch wheel High Country coming. In fact, here's a picture of it. This vehicle is sold, but it is sweet. You can see the black wheels, great, beautiful looking kind of blue color. So they've done a great job with this redesign. I also wanted to take a look, as I mentioned, out there in the country. So I searched the entire country for 95 Tahoes because I love this OG Tahoe. This is a 2-door Z71. You can see how far we've come. So you can see, okay, look at the wheels, look at the body, compare that to where we're at now. It's always fun to see where 30 years has taken us. They did the 2-door and the 4-door, as I mentioned. I always liked, and I kind of wish they still had this, where they had the 2 doors in the back hatch. This one is the 1-door open, kind of like a hatch. But that's really fun to look at. This is a 4-door model. Looks like they put some aftermarket wheels on it. This is out there, but I wanted to point out, look at what they're asking for these things. I thought about doing what we did with the Tracker and like going and buying one of these, but look at this, $23,500. So apparently this has become like the classic car realm, because the 2-door even, they're asking $25,000 for, and it's got 161,000 miles on it. This vehicle's, where's that, 832 miles away. Anyway, these Tahoes are awesome. I love it. I've loved driving Tahoes in the past. From time to time, I'll demo one. I'm driving a Sierra truck right now. But we're optimistic about with this new body style, where this vehicle's going. We're stocked and ready to roll. And come check one out, guys. And as I mentioned, if you're looking in that space, check out the Ford Expedition, Sequoia, Armada, Yukon, and the Wagoneer even. Great. There's some good competitors in that space. All right, guys, that's it for today. We'll see you next time on the showroom.